Welcome back, guys, to the Tatum Talk Show, where good is the enemy of great. Hey, guys, man, I got a special show today, man. I want to talk about the NIL because a lot of people don't understand it and they think everybody getting paid. So I'm going to really break down the NIL. I want to talk about how to survive in college. And then I also want to talk about how do you get offers outside of Power 4. It used to be Power 5, now it's Power 4, man. So first, man, let's talk about NIL. What is NIL? Because I hear everybody talking about NIL. I'm like, listen, y'all, NIL is name, image, and likeness, okay? So people don't understand. Back in the day, like, the NCAA robbed these kids, y'all. They robbed us. I was part of it. They robbed us. Think about, like, people who hate the NIL. Like, think about this, y'all. Oh, I don't like the way the NIL go. I don't like it. But let's think about it. All that money has been made over the years, building stadiums over these kids' likeness, and they fooled us with he's getting an education. Hey, man, this is a business, y'all. Some of these programs are making more money than the NFL franchises. Think about that, y'all. Look, so when I did the evaluation and I kind of put up what is a player worth to a university, okay? So I looked it up, and this is like last year, and Ohio State had like the fifth highest, and the kids were worth like $525,000 per person. So that's technically saying that if this is an employee relationship, that they should be getting paid roughly, and I'm saying just half of it, $250 each player. And that's not even the highest. The highest was, I think, like A&M in Texas. Those players were worth like $800,000 to the university per player. So that's telling you how much revenue is being generated. So what's going on is now with the collectives, kids can get paid directly from the colleges, all right? So now what you're seeing is you're seeing agents are starting to sign kids in high school now because of the NIL collective and because of the deals. Just recently, Georgia just allowed high schools can pay kids directly NIL money. So it's a good thing, but the bad thing is the conversation has changed so much because everybody believes they should be an NIL person. Now, let me just explain to y'all. You're an NIL person if you're in the top 1%. Okay, listen, I've been blessed, man. I got kids in my program that are some of the highest NIL players in the country. You know, I got kids like Javon Baker, who got drafted by the Patriots, Kyle Kennard, who's at South Carolina, probably be a first-round pick this year. Caleb Downs, you know, he broke the bank with Ohio State. Don't know how much he got, but we know it was a good chunk. And then I got some high school students, Martellus Carter, who going to Kentucky. I got Fagans, the youngest one, New Boy, he going to Auburn. And so it's out there, right? But the kids I just named are the top 1%. Like, these aren't just regular kids. These are kids that are dominant athletes. So you can't think you're just going to get NIL because everybody is getting NIL. Now, there's some schools, so this is how you got to do your own research. There's some schools that have a set number that they give to every single student, okay? So you guys got to think of it like this. With the NIL, I'm looking like, okay, I don't even got to go to the NFL because there's some kids that are making $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $300,000 per year, all right? And then if you have a good year, you can get more money. I've seen a kid had a good game, and then the next day he got a Mercedes-Benz truck. You know, I'm like, wow. And so it's out there for you, but everybody is not going to get it, guys. And that's the issue, and everybody thinks that. And let me just tell you, parents, when if your son is not one of those top tier guys, you can't be going to schools asking for no money. And even if your son is a top tier guy, you got to know what is the range that these kids should be getting. And there's a range for each player, just like the NFL. There's a range. So let me just explain to y'all the ranges. Quarterbacks, of course, are number one. Okay, quarterbacks number one. Athletic edge guys are number 2. Left tackles, okay, and then your corners, your receivers, and then your linebackers, and then your running backs. Okay, that's the tier. Okay, a lot of running backs aren't getting anything. Okay, some are. A lot of linebackers, unless they're like if you're the top 1%, you can expect to get NIL money. Okay, but if you're not one of those top guys, y'all be like, man, I got college coaches telling me they got kids coming in them asking about NIL, and it's like that can't be the conversation. Like you got to come in and you got to kind of understand where you're at. All right. Well, okay, my son's a 4-star. Well, if he's a 4-star, he's probably gonna get NIL money. Okay, your son's a 4-star, but you got to come in humble and you got to come in with a conversation of how can my son graduate. They'll eventually put you with the right people. But if you come in from day one, first time you meet a coach, yeah, coach, and what are the NIL opportunities? They're gonna be like, I don't know, I want this kid. Now, unless you are one of those top guys, then they'll still deal with you. But I'm just telling you, parents, you cannot come in a situation, never met a person in person. First time you see him, you like, NIL money. Like, that's imagine, that's like, I'm related to, it's like a relationship. Like, you can't just go from meeting somebody to marrying them in 2 days. It's like, nah, you got to get to know them. You got to know what they like, know what they want. You got to, talk to them. You got to build a relationship with them. And then you asking those other type of questions. It's the same thing with the NIL. Like, the reason students in my program were able to get those deals is because they always call me up and they say, hey, coach, what do I do? I said, man, you come in there and you come respectful. You don't come in there with no cocky ass attitude. Make sure your parents are dressed appropriately because you're being evaluated when you step out of there. Like if you come into a game on a visit and mama hair ain't done or hair all looking all over the place, and daddy coming there loud and acting irate like he know football and he don't know football, they're already lowering your value just off that. Like, just off that, they were like, he got some weird kind of parents. So, now if you come in there, parents are dressed nice, you're dressed nice, you're respectful, you're asking the right questions, you're nice to everybody you meet, then that's a person they're gonna say, I want him in my program. All right. But you can't come out with the NIL conversation the first time you meet him. This is a build-up after you built that relationship, guys. You got to build a relationship with them first. Now, they're offering kids NIL deals in high school also now. So what I tell people all the time is you got to think about, well, which high school am I going to go to? Okay? And it can't be strictly on NIL because what happened is your son will go to a weak school or a school that's not for him just because they got a little bit of NIL money. Like, you got to always think of what school am I going to go to maximize my exposure to get a football scholarship. Because once you get a football scholarship and your son is that guy, the NIL money is going to come. I promise you it's going to come. But you got to be that guy. So, like, we can't keep skipping steps. You got to be that guy athletically. You got to have good grades. You got to be a hard worker. And you got to be a respectful person. So that's why on social media, you got to understand your name, image. Your image on social media is you. So all them cussing music, highlight videos, all this crazy stuff y'all liking and sharing, like that's part of your image. You got to understand name, image, and likeness. Okay, your name is who you are. Control that. Your image is what you perceive on social media. You got to understand, could somebody put my son, put your athlete on the cover of their magazine? Could somebody put your athlete on a cereal box? Could somebody put your athlete on the face of their restaurant? So you got to understand that. What is your image like? Okay? All right? Like these are all things you got to consider. If you're going to get some NIL money, you got to fit the bill. And then understand this, I'm going to say it again, everybody is not getting money. All right. Now, it's all negotiable too, though. Now, so you got to understand when you see this contract, you got to say, do I got a lawyer? Because some of those NIL deals, that's why they suing people, because kids are suing because they're not getting their money. Well, guess what? You didn't read your contract, or you had your uncle who don't know anything about football, who think he know, do your contract. You got to get your real certified lawyer, okay, to read over your contract to make sure you're going to get what it says on there, okay? But you can't do this on your own. Again, some guys did it on their own and it worked out. But everybody that I know that did their NIL deals on their own didn't get their money. It's always something. So that's why you got to read your contract and understand name, image, and likeness. Keep your image perfect so you can have an opportunity to get some of that NIL money. All right, guys, we'll be back, guys. This show is brought to you by Elite Talent Football Academy, the #1 football program in the country. They've had over $75 million of accepted scholarships, guys. They've had guys go to NFL. They do recruiting. They do football training. They also do. Hey, y'all threw me off with that right there, man. Like y'all threw my whole thing off. All right. If I'm talking, please don't open no doors. All right. You threw my whole thing off. All right, hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. All right. This segment brought to you by Elite Talent Football Academy, #1 football training group in the country. They do football recruiting, they do training, they do consultations, they do camps. They're gonna do college visits. They've had over $75 million of accepted scholarships for their program in the last 8 years alone. They've had over 500 kids get offers within 30 days of coming to their football camps. Elite Talent Football Academy, they're based here in Atlanta. Guys, good as the enemy of great. EliteTalentFootball.com is the website. Check them out. Hey guys, we're back. The Tatum Talk Show, where good is the enemy of great. Guys, this next segment, we're going to talk about how to get offers outside of P4. All right, so this is a big thing now because, guys, do you know it's only 130 Division I schools? Only 130. So most people don't even understand there's about 600 to 700 other schools that play football and get financial aid, okay? So how to get offers outside of P4. So that means that most of you all who are seeing this, most students that on your football team are going to be going to a football program outside D1. Most. Now, when you see these guys with these D1 offers, and they're every talking about blessed have my D1 offer, but those are the top guys in the country, okay? And just because you don't have a big time D1 offer, don't mean you're not a top guy in the country. All right. It just means maybe you don't have the exposure. Maybe you don't know what they know. Maybe you're not tall enough. Maybe you haven't matured yet enough. Okay. Because again, that's why you're seeing so many. Look, Shorter University here, the D2 school, they have a line. They have a lineman that transferred from there to Clemson. Okay. Valdosta State got a guy that just transferred to Georgia State. So there's guys that are going to these small schools at first, and then they're transferring up. That can be you. You can transfer up. So how to get offers outside of P4? First things first, guys. Like, first, you got to get your body right. All right? You can't be looking all skinny and talking about you need to get an offer. Your body has to look a certain way. Okay? Gotta get in the weight room. You can't go on campus all skinny, man. Like, come on, y'all. Like, you can control that. Next thing, grades. Your grades, man. Your grades are so important. So important. All right. When I'm saying grades important, you must have a 3.0 or better core GPA. 3.0 or better core. So that's not including gym, not including art, or it's including your math, your science, your English, and your social study classes. Oh, science class. Those are the classes that count towards your core GPA. 3.0 is okay. I'm saying 3.5, okay, because it puts you in a better situation. All right. Next thing is, this is probably the most important thing, y'all. Y'all gotta be realistic. Like, y'all living in some damn la-la land, not being realistic. Listen, y'all, listen to me closely. every kid say I'm D1. Every kid be like, oh, I'm going D1. My goal is to go D1. I'm like, look, man, everybody ain't D1. And listen, stop lying to your damn kids, y'all. Y'all be lying to your sons. You can do whatever you want, son. My mother said I can do it. No, you can't. In football, you can't do whatever you want. You ain't never seen a 5'11", a 5'10" D lineman starting at DN at Alabama. You ain't never seen a 5'10" D lineman starting at Ohio State. Like, the average D lineman is 6'4", 270. All right? If you don't fit that build, you ain't going to one of those schools. I'm sorry. Now, I know you're going to say, well, so-and-so. Listen, it's only a few so-and-sos. It's only a few so-and-sos. Yeah, it was a 5'7" DB, started nickel for Alabama some years back and played in the NFL. Okay? That's your story. That ain't your story, though. That dude was 5'7", running a 4.3 with a 40-inch vertical. Okay? Like, there are exceptions to every rule. You can go to a big-time school if you don't fit that size requirements, but you better be exceptional everywhere else. Everywhere else. You got to be a super dog. I'm telling y'all, so like, y'all got to be realistic. If your son doesn't fit the criteria of a Power 5 school and then his goal is to go Power 5, maybe he ain't Power 5. Maybe he can go to a D2 school, play there 2 years, ball out, and transfer up. But that's the main thing. Like the main thing why people don't get offers is because you parents are not realistic. All right? Then here's what happens. Y'all be looking down upon NIA schools, D2 school, and D3 schools like it's a step down or something. Like, are you crazy? Like most of y'all can't even start at a D2 school. Like, have y'all ever y'all had this assumption that D2 and NIAA is a downgrade. And it's like, no, it's not a downgrade, bro. It's not. Because a lot of your athletes can't even start at some of them smaller schools. All right? I guarantee you right now, if you go to any D2 school, I'll say any top D2 school, not any top D2 school, I guarantee you there's like 5 to 10 players on that roster that could start at Power 5. And I guarantee you're going to find 5 to 10 players at a Power 5 roster that shouldn't be there. But they're there because they size. Like, size is the main thing, and parents just being realistic, y'all. All right? You got to be realistic. And then the fourth thing is you guys have to build relationships with coaches all the time. You got to have a good relationship with your high school coach. All right? So this is game right here for all y'all need to understand. I've never heard a kid say, yeah, I'm going to go to a D2 school. Never heard a kid say that. So what happens is y'all chasing D1. I see y'all at these D1 games playing dress up. Taking a picture with a jersey on, talking about, man, I'm blessed to be at this D1 school. Man, that school ain't recruiting you, man. Man, you ain't your size. You can't play there, bro. You should have been at this small school last week. So what happens is, instead of y'all building relationships with these smaller schools, y'all still chasing the D1. And then what happens by October, and it's already, by October, you realize like, oh, shoot, I'm a senior and I don't got no offers. So now you want to call back those D2 schools, those D3, those NIA schools who've been calling you, and they ain't answering their phone no more because they done moved on. So y'all got to be realistic early in your career to understand where you at. Now, if your son, like, listen, quick story. I had a kid named Jason Gilliam. When I first met him, he was 5'6", as an 8th grader, tiny. So he grew. He was about 5'11" as a 10th grader, and then we went to my college bus tour, the Elite Talent Exposure bus tour, and he picked up an offer from Ohio Dominican, a D2 school. Kid was ecstatic, like, man, coach, man, I got an offer. And he's like, man, I'm good now, coach. I got a 3.5 GPA. Then they didn't realize that Ohio Dominican tuition there was $42,000. UGA tuition is $32,000. So this small D2 school tuition was more than UGA. So they was like, coach, I ain't know. Because a lot of these D2 schools they're private schools. All right. So tuition could be higher. So he's like, coach, well, I'm good. I got a D2 offer. Next year, He had good grades. He wound up committing to Furman, which is a D1AA school, which is a great school, great academic school. That same kid wound up playing in Kansas. He said, well, guess what? When I first met him, he was not Kansas. But because he got better and better, and of course he grew 2 inches, 3 inches, he ended up being 6'2", 190. That was the difference. He was the same player when he was 5'11", 5'10", but only D2 schools wanted him. But when he became 6'2", that's when the Power 5 schools started to come in. So again, you have to be realistic, parents. Like, you got to be realistic. You got, and again, let me kind of go back over. One, you got to get your body right. You got to get your body right. You can't, like, you got to get your body right. Understand, you're not competing with a 16-year-old no more. You're competing, as sophomore, you're competing with a 20-year-old, a transfer portal kid, okay? 2, grades, 3.5 or better. 3.0 is to me, is just the minimal score, 3.5 or better. Then 3, you got to be realistic. Like, if y'all take this advice, you can find yourself with an offer. If you don't, you're going to find yourself complaining about why you don't have no offers, but because you've been shooting your shot to the wrong basket. It's like, man, shoot your shot to the basket, to the 8-foot hoop. You know what I'm saying? Not the 10-foot hoop. All right, guys, man, that's a good segment right there, man. This segment was brought to you by Elite Talent Football Academy, the #1 football program in the country, guys. Over $75 million of accepted scholarships in the last 8 years. They do football recruiting, football consulting. They do football training, all positions. They do college tours. They do college visits. They do bus tours, man. It's #1 program in the country. Guys, there were over 500 kids that got offers after coming to their camps within 30 days. EliteTalentFootball.com. Go check them out. Welcome back, guys. The Tatum Talk Show, where good is the enemy of great. Guys, this last segment, man, I want to talk about, like, how do you approach a college visit? Okay, what do you do, and what are some mistakes that a lot of people make on these college visits? All right, so quick story. I go to Tennessee State, and it was a nice day, and it was a bunch of recruits, probably about 80 recruits there that day. And it was a kid walking around, and he had a hood on and some jogging pants. And I'm like, and then Eddie George was talking. The man had his hood on while Eddie, the head coach, was talking. I'm like, man. And you know, I'm always trying to look out for kids, man. And so I went to him and I whispered in his ear, man. I'm like, hey, man, you might want to take your hood off, man, while this guy's talking. And then he looked at me like, who's you? And I said, hey, man, I'm just here, man, to give you some good advice, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't like I'm just. So I walked off, and then I talked to the recruiting coordinator, and I said, man, what do you, like, talk to me about, you know, what can I do to help my kids stand out more? He said, Derek, you're doing what you need to be doing. He said, your kids all come here, they all dressed nice, they all yes sir, no sir. None of them had hoods on, none of them had sweatpants on, flip flops on, like y'all like. Listen, students, parents, like, don't let your athlete come out the house with sweatpants going to a college visit. This is a Fortune 500 company. I say this all the time. Guys, you are visiting a Fortune 500 company. How would you dress? You wouldn't come in with flip-flops on, or slides, which y'all call them. You wouldn't come in with sweatpants on. Like, you know, we dress a little different. You know, my kids in my program, we come with a collared shirt, slacks, you know, hard bottom shoes. That's us. So I'm not saying you can do that, but I'm just saying look presentable, look respectful. All right, have your hair cut. You know, if you got, you know, those crazy dreads, whatever y'all have in your head, at least have it neat. Remember, this is the image. This is a first impression. Like, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. All right, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So I was talking to the recruiting coordinator at TSU, and he was like, I'm like, man, so what do you think about the kid standing right there with his hood on while the head coach was talking? He was like, I don't think nothing of him. I said, what you mean? He said, we not recruiting him. He said, we don't want a kid in our program that's going to have his hood on. And then he said, Coach, I saw you whisper in his ear and he looked at you crazy. Guys, you are being evaluated. I'm telling you, you are being evaluated from when you come out the car. They're evaluating you. They're evaluating your friends. They're evaluating your parents. They're evaluating how you interact with your parents, how you interact with other people. They're evaluating your attitude, how you are being evaluated. So this kid probably was a good player. He just lost an opportunity because he wanted to have a hood on and not take his hood off when somebody was talking. So it's like guys, when we go on a college visit, what you want to do is before you go on a visit, you want to make sure you know who you're there to see. Okay? You want to make sure, again, you're looking presentable. Make sure you're on time. Don't most of the time, if you're on a visit, especially on a game day visit, you want to try to be there like 2.5 hours before the game starts. The reason why minimal 2.5 hours, because you got to think about the traffic. It's like some of the big games, like last week, I had a kid go to Pittsburgh versus West Virginia game. And he left the house late and missed the opportunity to go on the field. I'm like, bro, he's like, well, I was there 2 hours before the game, but it was traffic. I'm like, who fault is that? Like, if you know it's a big game, it's a rivalry game, get there 3 hours before. Like, be early, because I'm telling you, this traffic, it's going to take you minimal 30 minutes it's just to park. So if you're there 2 hours before the game, you're really on an hour and a half, because that 30 minutes, you got to park. Then you got to walk to the stadium. So again, guys, when you're going on a visit, just make sure you know your GPA, make sure you know your test scores, make sure you're looking presentable, and make sure you know who you're going to be talking to, and be respectful. And when any adult is talking to you, look them in the eye, shake their hands, and if somebody is talking, make sure your eyes is glued to them while they're talking, because you are being evaluated, guys. You are being evaluated. If you do those things right there, you'll be in a good space to get recruited. Like, recruiting has changed. Like, back in the day, you just play really, real good, and then you got an article in the paper, and then your coach sent film out. It's changed. You got to go recruit the school now. So when you come on that campus, you got to know something about that school so you can have a conversation with a college coach, guys. Guys, this segment again was brought to you by Elite Talent Football Academy, #1 football program in the country. Had over $75 million of accepted scholarships. Also, 500 kids got offers within 30 days of going to their camps. And also they do training, they do recruiting, consulting, bus tours, college visits, game day visits. Guys, if you want to get better, all ages from age 9 years old to up, join EliteTalentFootball.com. Apply on their website, EliteTalentFootball.com. Guys, that is it from this segment, man. This is a great show, guys. I'm excited about the direction we're going in, guys. This is the Tatum Talk Show, where good is the enemy of great.